Alright, this is a banjo video for my students beginning banjo at Cascade School of Music. And one of the first things I want to get everybody going on is this right hand and two of the basic uh, roles that are involved with banjo playing. And the first one I want to go over, and I'll go through the right hand first in this. We want to kind of rest this right forearm just about, maybe 3-4 inches above the wrist. Is going to rest on this little rest right here, and we're going to bring our hand over and with the little finger just ahead of where the bridge is, and the third finger also, if you can keep it down, you can. Otherwise, it can move with the middle finger. But what we're going to do is we're going to play thumb down on the third string, and then index finger up on the second string, then thumb down on the fifth string, top one, and then the middle finger up on the first string. So it sounds like this. And we try to do that. If we can get it going, we want to get it going so that it's continuous. So as you finish one, you start another one. Alright, and we're not looking for speed here this first week, we just want to get that continuity going. Alright, that's the alternating thumb roll. And then we're going to look at a thing called the forward roll. Now notice when we do this alternating thumb roll first, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we do it twice, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 notes if we do it twice. Now, most of the banjo music that we're going to be looking at will involve playing 8 of these notes per measure, and that's why they're called 8th notes. There's 8 of them per measure, per 4/4 measure. And sometimes we count them like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's 8 notes there. Alright, so then the next roll that I want to work on this first week is called the forward roll, which a lot of banjo playing, especially the way that I tend to teach it, is based off a thing called the forward roll. And this I'm going to show you. I want the thumb delegated toward the fifth string. The index finger will be on the third string, and the middle finger will be on the first string. And also, we need 8 notes for this forward roll, which, if you'll notice, because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's 3 and 3, and those last 2 make 8. So then we'd have to start it over again. So it sounds like this when we play it continuously, one after another, the forward roll. 1, 2, 3. Then we start over after we hit that first string with our middle finger. We start again with our index finger. Start over. And start over. Start over. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Start over. So, whoops. That's what it sounds like when you do them continuously. We don't have to do it that fast this first week. We just want to try to get them continuous, and we want to realize that after we have played the forward roll once, twice, here's a third time. Now instead of coming up and hitting that fifth string again, we start it over because the fifth string would make 9 notes. We want 8 in a measure, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and during this time, I'm also just going to mention the left hand, even though we aren't really using it yet, just so that we kind of get the idea of how we're supposed to hold this left hand. We want our thumb of our left hand up just in front of what's called the nut, which is right here, this little white pearl thing right up at the end of the neck. And we want our thumb to be just in front of that, balancing kind of on the outer first knuckle of the thumb. And then we want our index finger in the fleshy part, just kind of in front also of that. So actually the index finger though will look like it's just behind the thumb, a little bit like this. So we do want space between in our thumb. We don't want to like jam this up so that there's no space back here underneath the neck. We want a little bit of air underneath there. So there should be a little space. I can make this so that you can see it. Back up a little bit. So that you can see it here. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough on this video. There it is. But right, so you see where my thumb is coming up here, right in front of the nut, and my forefinger here, my first finger is basically almost right up against that nut, and then our fingers will bend over here to make chords, and we'll go into some of those the second lesson. But for right now, we just want to make sure that we have this fork here between the thumb and the forefinger coming up right here to kind of hold the banjo neck right there. And we don't want to make it so there's no space and jam this up here all the way. It makes our hand so we can't pivot eventually on the thumb. So we just kind of want to have a space here on the thumb. It's really hard to make it so that you can see this. Almost impossible, I guess. Turn this backwards, maybe. Yeah, because that headstock's going to get in the way. All right. Like this, maybe. So there, between that V, I don't want to jam this hand all the way up so that there's no space there. See that? Between my thumb and my forefinger, it's jammed all the way up. I want to pull that back a little bit and leave some space in between the neck and the V of my forefinger and thumb. Okay? Make it easier later on to pivot like this if I need to make a move, which I will. All right. That'll be good for now.